Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A biased way of looking at or presenting something. Seek indirectly. Present with a bias. To incline or bend from a vertical position. A member of a Germanic people who conquered England and merged with the Saxons and Jutes to become Anglo-Saxons. Fish with a hook. Move or proceed at an angle. He angled his way into the room. The space between two lines or planes that intersect. The inclination of one line to another, measured in degrees or radians. A biased way of looking at or presenting something. Heel over. The ceiling is slanting. Present with a bias. To incline or bend from a vertical position. Degree of deviation from a horizontal plane. Lie obliquely. A scar slanted across his face. Astrology. A person who is born while the sun is in Pisces. Seek indirectly. Fish for compliments. The 12th sign of the zodiac. The sun is in this sign from about February 19th to March 20th. Any of various mostly cold-blooded aquatic vertebrates, usually having scales and breathing through gills. The shark is a large fish. Catch or try to catch fish or shellfish. I like to go fishing on weekends. The flesh of fish used as food. In Japan, most fish is eaten raw. A system of units used to express the weight of something. The relative importance granted to something. His opinion carries great weight. Sports equipment used in calisthenic exercises and weightlifting. It is not attached to anything and is raised and lowered by use of the hands and arms. Statistics. A coefficient assigned to elements of a frequency distribution in order to represent their relative importance. Weight down with a load. Present with a bias. A unit used to measure weight. He placed 2 weights in the scale pan. An artifact that is heavy. An oppressive feeling of heavy force. Bowed down by the weight of responsibility. The vertical force exerted by a mass as a result of gravity. Lacking excess flesh. Jan Cassius has a lean and hungry look. The property possessed by a line or surface that departs from the vertical. Containing little excess. A lean budget. Have a tendency or disposition to do or be something, be inclined. Cause to lean to the side. To incline or bend from a vertical position. She leaned over the banister. Cause to lean or incline. He leaned his rifle against the wall. Not profitable or prosperous. A lean year. Rely on for support. We can lean on this man. Lacking in mineral content or combustible material. Lean or. A combat between 2 mounted knights tilting against each other with blunted lances. Move sideways or in an unsteady way. Pitching dangerously to one side. Heel over. The tower is tilting. A contentious speech act. A dispute where there is strong disagreement. The property possessed by a line or surface that departs from the vertical. The tower had a pronounced tilt. To incline or bend from a vertical position. A slight but noticeable partiality. The court's tilt toward conservative rulings. Charge with a tilt. A V shape. Give a tip or gratuity to in return for a service, beyond the compensation agreed on. Remember to tip the waiter. Give insider information or advise to. He tipped off the police about the terrorist plot. Cause to topple or tumble by pushing. The top or extreme point of something, usually a mountain or hill. They clambered to the tip of Monadnock. Walk on one's toes. To incline or bend from a vertical position. Strike lightly. A relatively small amount of money given for services rendered, as by a waiter. An indication of potential opportunity. He got a tip on the stock market. Cause to tilt. Tip the screen upward. Mark with a tip. Tip the arrow with the small stone. Remove the tip from. Tip artichokes. The extreme end of something, especially something pointed. A mental position from which things are viewed. Teaching history gave him a special point of view toward current events. The spatial property of the position from which something is observed. Put up with something or somebody unpleasant. A support or foundation. An interruption of normal activity. A booth where articles are displayed for sale. A platform where a brass band can play in the open air. Hold one's ground. Maintain a position. Be steadfast or upright. I am standing my ground and won't give in. A support for displaying various articles. A mental position from which things are viewed. Withstand the force of something. Stand the test of time. Put into an upright position. Can you stand the bookshelf up? Be standing. Be upright. We had to stand for the entire performance. A defensive effort. The army made a final stand at the Rhone. A growth of similar plants, usually trees, in a particular area. They cut down a stand of trees. A small table for holding articles of various kinds. A bedside stand. A stop made by a touring musical or theatrical group to give a performance. A one-night stand. Be available for stud services. Be in effect. Be or remain in force. The law stands. Be in some specified state or condition. I stand corrected. Be tall. Have a height of, copula. She stands 6 feet tall. Have or maintain a position or stand on an issue. Where do you stand on the war? Occupy a place or location, also metaphorically. We stand on common ground. Remain inactive or immobile. Standing water. The position where a thing or person stands. Tiered seats consisting of a structure, often made of wood, where people can sit to watch an event, game or parade. A place from which something can be viewed. A mental position from which things are viewed. We should consider this problem from the viewpoint of the Russians. A mental position from which things are viewed. Make an effort or attempt. She always seeks to do good in the world. Try to locate or discover, or try to establish the existence of. Go to or towards. A liquid seeks its own level. Inquire for. Seek directions from a local. The movement of a read, write head to a specific data track on a disk. Try to get or reach. Seek a position. Inquire into. The students had to research the history of the Second World War for their history project. An operation that determines whether one or more of a set of items has a specified property. The activity of looking thoroughly in order to find something or someone. Search or seek. Try to locate or discover, or try to establish the existence of. The police are searching for clues. An investigation seeking answers. A thorough search of the ledgers revealed nothing. Boarding and inspecting a ship on the high seas. Right of search. Subject to a search. The police searched the suspect. The examination of alternative hypotheses. His search for a move that would avoid checkmate was unsuccessful. Be excited or anxious about. Try to locate or discover, or try to establish the existence of. Cause to be biased. Determine beforehand. A partiality that prevents objective consideration of an issue or situation. A line or cut across a fabric that is not at right angles to a side of the fabric. Cause to be biased. Influence in an unfair way. You are biasing my choice by telling me yours. Slanting diagonally across the grain of a fabric. A bias fold. Turn from a straight course, fixed direction, or line of interest. Movement that causes the formation of a curve. Bend a joint. Bend your knees. An angular or rounded shape made by folding. A bend of his elbow. Cause, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Bend the rod. Form a curve. The stick does not bend. Curved segment, of a road or river or railroad track, etc. A circular segment of a curve. A bend in the road. Bend one's back forward from the waist on down. Diagonal line traversing a shield from the upper right corner to the lower left. A town in central Oregon at the eastern foot of the Cascade Range. Change direction. The road bends. Bend a joint. Flex your wrists. Cause, a plastic object, to assume a crooked or angular form. Form a curve. Contract. Flex a muscle. Exhibit the strength of. The victorious army flexes its invincibility. The act of flexing. He gave his biceps a flex to impress the ladies. A native or inhabitant of Europe. Of or relating to or characteristic of Europe or the people of Europe. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. We traveled from Rome to Naples by bus. Travel upon or across. Travel the oceans. Undertake a journey or trip. A movement through space that changes the location of something. Self-propelled movement. Make a trip for pleasure. The act of going from one place to another. He enjoyed selling but he hated the travel. Travel from place to place, as for the purpose of finding work, preaching, or acting as a judge. Undergo transportation as in a vehicle. We traveled north on Route 508. Follow a certain course. How did your interview go? Have a particular form. As the saying goes. Move away from a place into another direction. Perform as expected when applied. The washing machine won't go unless it's plugged in. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. How fast does your new car go? Be in the right place or situation. Let's put healthcare where it belongs, under the control of the government. A usually brief attempt. A board game for two players who place counters on a grid. The object is to surround and so capture the opponent's counters. Pass from physical life and lose all bodily attributes and functions necessary to sustain life. Make a certain noise or sound. Lead, extend, or afford access. This door goes to the basement. Street names for methylenedioxymethamphetamine. Continue to live and avoid dying. Begin or set in motion. Ready, set, go. Stop operating or functioning. To be spent or finished. The money had gone after a few days. A time period for working, after which you will be relieved by someone else. It's my go. Blend or harmonize. This sofa won't go with the chairs. Go through in search of something. Search through someone's belongings in an unauthorized way. Enter or assume a certain state or condition. Get going. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Can I go now? Give support to, or make a choice of, one out of a group or number. Stretch out over a distance, space, time, or scope. Run or extend between 2 points or beyond a certain point. His knowledge doesn't go very far. Follow a procedure or take a course. We should go farther in this matter. Be the right size or shape. Fit correctly or as desired. Progress by being changed. The speech has to go through several more drafts. Be abolished or discarded. These ugly billboards have to go. Be or continue to be in a certain condition. Be ranked or compare. This violinist is as good as Juilliard-trained violinists go. Be spent. Functioning correctly and ready for action. All systems are go. Pass, fair, or elapse, of a certain state of affairs or action. How is it going? Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally. In a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. Printing. A block of type without a raised letter, used for spacing between words or sentences. The unlimited expanse in which everything is located. They tested his ability to locate objects in space. The interval between 2 times. It all happened in the space of 10 minutes. Any location outside the Earth's atmosphere. The astronauts walked in outer space without a tether. A blank character used to separate successive words in writing or printing. He said the space is the most important character in the alphabet. A blank area. Write your name in the space provided. An area reserved for some particular purpose. The laboratory's floor space. An empty area, usually bounded in some way between things. The architect left space in front of the building. One of the areas between or below or above the lines of a musical staff. The spaces are the notes FACE. Place at intervals. Move the upper body backwards and down. Lean in a comfortable resting position. Move the upper body backwards and down. Cause to recline. She reclined her head on the pillow. An elevated geological formation. Be at an angle. Have a tendency or disposition to do or be something, be inclined. He inclined to corpulence. Make receptive or willing towards an action or attitude or belief. Their language inclines us to believe them. An inclined surface connecting 2 levels. bend or turn one's ear towards a speaker in order to listen well. He inclined his ear to the wise old man. Feel favorably disposed or willing. She inclines to the view that people should be allowed to express their religious beliefs. Lower or bend the head or upper body, as in a nod or bow. She inclined her head to the student. Someone who is morally reprehensible. Put a new heel on. Heel shoes. Tilt to one side. The balloon heeled over. Follow at the heels of a person. Golf. The part of the club head where it joins the shaft. One of the crusty ends of a loaf of bread. Perform with the heels. Heel that dance. Strike with the heel of the club. Heel a golf ball. The back part of the human foot. The bottom of a shoe or boot. The back part of a shoe or boot that touches the ground and provides elevation. The lower end of a ship's mast. The property possessed by a line or surface that departs from the horizontal. An elevated geological formation. He climbed the steep slope. Be at an angle. The terrain sloped down. Give or make a list of. Name individually. Give the names of. A database containing an ordered array of items, names or topics. The property possessed by a line or surface that departs from the vertical. The ship developed a list to starboard. Cause to lean to the side. Erosion listed the old tree. Enumerate. Tilt to one side. The ship listed to starboard. Include in a list. Am I listed in your register? Face and withstand with courage. Towards the side exposed to wind. The atmospheric conditions that comprise the state of the atmosphere in terms of temperature and wind and clouds and precipitation. They were hoping for good weather. Cause to slope. Change under the action or influence of the weather. A weathered old hut. Sail to the windward of.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.